Hey guys, welcome to Quinian's Budget Crafts. So I hopped into the YouTube studio and I see this. Yeah, that. What is that? What is that? Okay, so if I click on it, that accounts for more than a quarter of my total watch time. What in the world? A whole bunch of somebodies must have gotten an airbrush for Christmas. That is awesome. But also, what is that? Come on. Okay, so the original audio on this got corrupted, so if I'm a little out of sync, that's why. But if you have this Road Tech airbrush, or any other one that looks like this in the picture, it's the same brush, doesn't matter who makes it. It'll come with this little pipette here, and it's really good for measuring things. You could just buy any other pipette, it'll probably be the same, it doesn't really matter. As long as you can measure equal parts, that's what you want. I've come up with a pretty good ratio here that actually makes these folk art or apple barrel or whatever, they're all plaid paints, flow through the airbrush pretty good. What you're going to use is some alcohol. It doesn't have to be 99%, it could be 70 or 60 or whatever is fine. And water. You're going to use equal parts of those. And I am using bottled water here because my tap water is full of minerals and that might gum up the airbrush in the long run. So just use the bottled stuff. Use whatever is going to work for you. And as far as how much paint to add, you add pretty much 1 drop of paint per 1 pipette of liquid. It is best though if you start a little bit low and work your way up, because if it's a little undersaturated in the color, you can add more. But if you added too much paint to start with, you're either going to gum up the airbrush, or you're going to have to add more alcohol and water, and that's going to keep turning into a cycle, and eventually you're going to have like a whole paint pot full of it, and that's not what you want. For mixing, I recommend using a stencil brush because the bristles are very, very stiff and you can like stab at it to get it to mix really well. Don't mix it in the brush, mix it in a separate container. And once you got it all mixed, you can go ahead and pour it in there or use the pipette to put it in there if you're worried there might still be some boogers hanging out in the bottom. And let's see how it sprays. You can't really see what I'm doing here, but you can sort of see the stream coming out against the backdrop of my green shirt there. Tried to show it to the camera, but the light didn't want to cooperate. So I decided to go ahead and mix up some other colors here. Decided to go with apple barrel because that's the cheapest of the cheap. It's the 50-cent stuff. And I'm using a gloss because, as I understand it, the stuff with gloss in it has something that gums up airbrushes. Whatever it is that makes it glossy. So let's try that and see how it works. Just use the same ratio there and mix it up with the stencil brush. And since I almost never use my gloss black and I didn't really shake it very well, I knew I had some boogers in there, so I used the pipette to put it in the brush so I didn't get any of that poured in. Trying to spray from an angle here where you can see what's going on. There you go, you can see that it does work. It's got pretty good even coverage. If you know what this character is, I'm not going to say because copyright, he's wearing a bunch of gloss black clothing, so that seemed like a good choice. Should probably use another coat or two. I was just, spraying for example. So I got an absolute ton of questions on that video. I think I may actually revisit it at some point because of that. I did try to answer everybody in the comments, but it might be more helpful if I just redid the video with a little bit more in-depth detail. Might be a longer video that way. But in the meantime, hopefully this ratio will help you out with your low-cost airbrush and your super cheap paints. So again, that is 1 part alcohol, 1 part water, 1 part paint. That seems to work out pretty well. And it doesn't matter what percentage of alcohol you have. Of course, as always, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one.